Hi guys, Arvel from Pixel Party here, and I'm wanting to show you guys a quick and easy way to keep your entire production in sync, in color, all at the same time. What's happening, guys? Today I want to show off an application I wrote called Color Bridge. And what this does is takes multiple inputs from various users and allows those users to control the entire production. Everything's going to be in sync and in harmony with each other. So let's go ahead and dive into this. What we got right here is a color picker you can move around with your mouse or a touch screen. And this follows the same algorithms that Adobe Cooler uses. So you have like your analogous, mono, triad, complementary, compound, shades, and then you can also define your own custom algorithm to your liking. I think I'm just going to stick it on complementary for this tutorial. So up here you can manually trigger a color change. And for other various inputs over here in the middle we have a DMX control and a OSC control, and then a live video input control. So to get our controls working, let's start off with DMX, and if we come down to the bottom here to settings, over here on the left we will have your DMX input for your net, subnet, and universe and channel. If you're new to any of my programs, down here there is a little help button question mark. If you click on that, you should be able to click anything in orange, and it will give you a little bit more information on what that parameter does. For this, we're just going to keep our net, subnet, and universe set to 0, and our starting address for control on DMX will be number 1. If we come over here to DMX IO readouts, we can see what our input and output are going to be for DMX and OSC. So I have a small little test console I have down here with 3 dimmer channels, 1, 2, and 3. If I turn dimmer channel 1 up, this would be comparable to just having like an RGB fixture patched inside like an MA, HOG, or AVO, or CAMSYS. So dimmer 1 is going to be red, dimmer 2 is going to be green, dimmer 3 is going to be blue, so it's RGB. So as I'm turning dimmer channel 1 up, I can see my red channel's up, green is now going up, and blue is now going up. So if we go back into our user interface right here, up at the top we have a DMX input. I can toggle on or off on the DMX, so at some point if I want the LD to control the color setup for the entire production, I can turn on DMX, and at that point, whenever the LD turns a color change on, it will push into Color Bridge. If I come back to my test console here and I just want a solid red color, notice it's not updating right now. Right now I have it set to a manual update, so as soon as I click this update button, it's going to read that value and push it through, just like that. This is handy if you're doing a lot of color changes and you only want maybe a color change once a minute. At that point you can snag the current color from your lighting designer and push it through. If you click on auto update, it will always be looking for your DMX input, and as you make a change here, it's now making a change inside Color Bridge as well. So that's pretty much how your DMX input is going to operate. Again, if you turn off your DMX input and we go back to our little test console, nothing's going to happen. It'll show you what your current DMX color is. It's just not going to push it through. Up next we have OSC control. It's the exact same as DMX is up here. As far as the auto update, the input, and your colors. In order to bring in OSC, we'll need to go back to settings, and then we need to click on OSC in red, green, and blue. Here are your OSC channels. So if we go into Resolume, what do I got here? Composition, we will want to go to shortcuts, edit OSC, output all OSC messages is turned on, and at that point we can copy this value here for the red channel, go back into Color Bridge, paste that. We're going to replace red with green, and we're going to replace red again with blue. There we are. Alright. And if we move red around, we can see red is right there, green, blue. So we have our values coming into Color Bridge. So now if we go back here, we turn on Auto Update, go back into Arena, we can see we have red, green, blue. Also, if you go to your color picker, that is not going to work because it's actually looking for your RGB values right here. So you will need to use a RGB fader to do that. And then lastly, if we bring in a source, let's do lines. Here we go. So we have a set of moving purple lines. Just put that on virtual output. We go to output spout, and then we go back into Color Bridge. In settings, we will have our spout source. So you can see right here we are now getting Resolume brought into Color Bridge. And if we hit Get Color, it's going to try to find the dominant color of your clip. If we try to play an actual clip, let's go drag in this guy instead. You also have an up and down right here. This will allow you to cycle through the colors that it sees as the most dominant. And if you feel the colors aren't quite matching up to the way they should, you can go down to your settings, and then there is also a hue adjust, so you can adjust this as needed to get that even more fine-tuned. And from that point, you can click on Update, and it will update Color Bridge as well to get the dominant color of your video coming into Color Bridge. Alright, so now we know how to bring colors into Color Bridge, but what does Color Bridge actually do? How does it work? If we go to our settings, up at the top we can click on DMX and output color number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all for OSC. For DMX, everything we're working is inside this window right here. We have our DMX outnet, subnet, universe, and channel. If we change this to channel 10, it'll update our outputs right here. So this is how you can bring colors back into your console and do like a DMX merge. So if you're outputting color 1 and you want to bring color 3, 4, and 5 back in to maybe do site lighting or have some LED strips that you want to be changed in color harmony with your primary change, you can use this to do it. You can also send out a moving color gradient, and the DMX channels for that is listed below. Speaking of the gradient, you can click your little slider right here, and that will change the speed of the movement of the gradient. You can change directions, but but this is a way to output a moving gradient within that color harmony to DMX. Next, if we click on OSC, also real quick on DMX, you can turn colors on and off, and that will bypass the output to DMX. Sorry to mention, I forgot to mention that. OSC, same thing. If you click a color, it's no longer going to output that color. It'll just bypass it. So right here we have OSC color selects. We have color 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in gradient. And down below we have the OSC RGB channel. And if you're working in Resolume, you can do the color picker, and you don't even have to do the RGB channels at all. You can just work out of the color picker only. This is for Resolume version 6 and 7. This does not work with previous versions lower than 6. So let's output color 4. So we'll click on color 4, and then we're going to choose how many outputs we want. For this, I'm just going to do 1. But if you're sending this to multiple locations within your composition, you can scale this up and have this basically output as many times as you want to different locations. So we're doing color picker. So if we come back into Arena and we go to layer 3, next we're going to go to shortcuts, OSC, click on our color picker. We will copy that, go back into color bridge, and we will paste that right there. So again, this is color 4, color picker. So this right here is color number 4. So if we go back into our settings, we change the color here, and we unbypass this. Let's also make sure our OSC is set right. So input is port 7000. Inside color bridge, let's go to settings, make sure our OSC out port is 7000. There we go. And in order for color bridge to actually send a color update, you need to hit send. That way it's not constantly changing on you. So if you hit send, we should now have this color matching right here. If you don't always want to continuously hit send, you can hit full send, and that will lock that on. So as you're making a change here, it makes a change there. So as you see, color 1, 2, 3, 4, color 4. Alright, so for those of you who don't want to go the color picker method but want to do this on the individual RGB channel, what we'll need to do is go into Arena, go to our OSC output. We will need to select our red channel, go back to color picker. Let's do the moving gradient for this one. So we'll go red channel on the gradient. And then we will add that color. Green, we'll do the same. Change red to green. And blue, we will do the same. Add a channel, come down, and make that blue. So now if we go back to our UI, we can see we have a changing color there. And if we go to Arena, it is now changing here as well. Alright, so at any point, if we want to turn off a DMX or OSC, we can do that right here from the front. Just a quick way to bypass one or the other. We also have our system resource usage from this application right here. We also have a transition time. If we turn this up and we change to a color, notice how long it takes to cycle to that color. That way it's not just a harsh jump. You can kind of ease your way into that color change. Going back to our settings, we've already gone over DMX. We just did OSC. our I/O readouts. This is actually showing you in real time what your values are being sent. Color assigned. So for all of the color harmonies, like output 1, output 2, we have color A, B, C, D. So let's say we want color E right here, that's on 5. Let's say we actually want that color to be duplicated again, but on 3. We can go to output 3, change that to color E, and now we have that color in 2 positions. Over here at the bottom is custom. This is where you can make your own custom color harmony. So right now we're changing the hue for color 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you can see we're changing the hue. Now we can go to saturation, desaturate that a bit, and then our value. Darken that, make that a little brighter. And now when we go back to our main UI and we hit custom, we will get that custom harmony to follow your color change. Going back to settings, we've already discussed our DMX in and out, our OSC in, OSC out, DMX out. Here's your video source. If you want to use NDI, you will need a commercial or professional license of Touch Player and Touch Designer. For everybody else, Spout should work. You choose your Spout or NDI sources for your video right here. Below is your your HSV adjustment for your video coming in for the dominant color detection. And we have a save button to save your current setup. So if you've built a custom color harmony and you don't have to do that every time you open the software, just hit save and that should save it to where you are. We also have a value here to turn your overall color up or down, the brightness. But yeah, in a nutshell, that is Color Bridge. I use this quite a bit on the bigger festivals I do to sync lighting, video, and lasers. That way all the color changes happen at the same time and they are in harmony. So I may have your primary color right here be your lighting, and then I can offset like color 2 for video, color 3 for lasers. You can get a little fancy with this if you want. For instance, there's a awesome little Resolume effects I like to use called SPX Tritone. That's made by SubPixels. Definitely suggest going and supporting him. He makes some incredible tools. For this example, we have the Tritone Pro added right here, and we have our mid, white, and black tones right here. So what we can do to affect this, we're going to be using our OSC in right here to drive Color Bridge. So if we go to our settings, you can see right here we have our OSC in still configured to control it. Next we're going to go and auto update from OSC. We're going to have full send set on, so this will send in full time. And I want to come back to Resolume, and I want to edit the midtone of this clip right here. So I'm going to go to edit OSC, click on midtone color picker because I like to do things once instead of 3 times. Next we'll go to Color Bridge, settings. We want to go to OSC, output, and I want that to be color 5. Color picker. We will add that in. And then I want color 1 to be our primary color from the color change. So we will send that to, I believe, high tone, or maybe white tone. Let's see, what is that? Let's go to OSC out, white tone. It's always better just to copy and paste anyways. There we go. So now, when we go to our composition and we make a color change, you can see we're sending out a yellow right here. So yellow is going to white, but if you also notice back in Color Bridge, the offset for color 5 is this nice blue. So what we're getting is we're actually getting this video effect to change this parameter of the midtone to be driven off of the color harmony offset of the white tone. That way, whatever color change I make here, it's actually going to be in harmony with the initial color I changed. Here's the original clip by itself. Make sure I have that bypassed. Yep. The original clip, and then with the effects added, totally becomes something else. Alright guys, that's it for Color Bridge. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to drop me a line at support@pixelparty.us. Thank you guys.